Hey, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I changed my mixing process forever. And I think you can do it too. So stick around. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I do. Let's go. I'm Ole Petter Myhren, aka Subphotic. I've been making music for over 30 years, and my mission is to help beatmakers such as yourself get as good as sounding beats as possible, publish and release as many beats as possible, grow your brand, collaborate with others, and eventually maybe even sell beats, who knows. Back in the old days, I would have a lot of tracks. I would have kick, snare, hi-hats, bass, samples, and everything would go into one bus, mainly the mix bus or the stereo out. And then I would start processing and start tweaking the faders and the panning, and everything was a mess. And at a later point, when a vocalist wanted to jump on this beat, I would just insert it into the same session with the vocals and everything, and I would have MIDI, I would have audio, I would have effects running around, and there would be latency, and there's problem with gain staging. Things was peaking, I would turn it down, and then it became too quiet. I would over process, and everything would get flat sounding. So basically, no matter what I did, it sounded awful. And occasionally it turned out great. It sounded good, but that was just left to chance because I didn't have a system. Now, on the other hand, what I'm about to show you here is a clear system that you can use, and you can have the same results every time, and that's what we all seek, right? We want to have control over our mixing and mastering so that the beats sound professional when you want to release them. The songs that you make will sound professional. So that's the goal of this video. So I hope that you stick around, and I hope you like it as much as I do. So let's get into it. So there are two ways to change the way you mix forever. And the first thing is to download my free mixing templates for Logic. The link is in the description. Go to subphotic.com/logic and get them there. And suppose that you've already downloaded these, you should have them in your downloads folder. So as you can see on my computer, I have them on the desktop right here. So you see here, the folder consists of a folder of legacy versions, which is compatible with High Sierra. These main templates here, these are the 6 Logic templates. They are compatible with Mac OS 11. If I open Logic, here are project templates. These are stock in Logic, but my templates, this is an empty folder right now. So what I'll do, I'll quit Logic. I'll grab a hold of these, and I'll open a new folder here, just Command N, and go to Music, Macintosh HD, users, your name, and then Music, and then you need to hit Audio Music Apps. It's Project Templates. Now this is empty, but we're about to fill it up. So you have these 6 free mixing templates for Logic Pro right here. You just grab a hold of them, and then you drag them over here. Boom, they're there. Or you can be less invasive and you can just copy paste them so you have a backup as well. So copy and paste like that. Close the folder, close this one, and let's open Logic and see if anything has changed. Boom, they're here. All the 6 free mixing templates for Logic Pro is in effect. Now, what I'll do, I'll open the Subphotic Clean. This template has all the routings available right here. Everything is neatly organized in folders. We have a track here for stereo beat if you only want to mix vocals, for example. But I'll get rid of that right now because I don't need it. Now we have the drums folder, instruments folder, and we have the Vox folder with both lead vocals and background vocals and ad-libs. We'll close that for now. And then we have the effects folder with effects for different purposes that I've found myself using from time and time again. And these are all routed correctly into several buses. So we have a drum bus, bass, instrument bus, lead vocal and background vocal bus, a bus for the beat, a bus for the vocals, and a bus for the effects right here. These 3 right here, the beat, the vocals, and the effects, goes into the mix bus, which in turn goes into the master bus. You can say that the master bus is sort of surplus, but that's the way I've worked for many years now. So it has been a mainstay. It's just for my head to be organized. All the mix bus processing goes on the mix bus, and maybe on the master I only have a limiter, for example, or even an EQ just to make some final broad strokes. I like to bounce a version with a limiter and a version without a limiter, so the mastering engineer can see where I want this to go. Let's just import something into this template now, shall we? This is a beat sketch. It's just 4 or 8 bars. So it's 85 BPM. So we'll start off by that, 85. And then let's loop it. Let's listen to the elements. So this is the drum loop. Oh, what do we have here? This would be the main loop, maybe. Let's see what's next. This is the bass. Let's see what's next. Alt loop, I can call it. Another alt loop. What's this? This is a pad. Now we have it all figured out. I can erase these tracks right here, which are now blank. And I will also go here and erase everything that I don't use. So all the tracks that I'm not currently using, I'll just select them and hit delete. Now, if you like this video so far, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you want more videos like these where I show beat makers such as yourself how to get as good a sound as possible. And I'll let the vocals be. Maybe at a later point I would have an artist jump on this beat. Who knows? Or I'll give it away or sell it or collaborate or whatever. I can select all the tracks, right click or option click, color regions by tracks. And here we go. Here it is colored. I'll select everything and I'll hit Command R to duplicate. Now I can start to arrange the beat and mix it as I go. So that's it. So let's just do a quick little arrangement, shall we? Everything is set up, ready to go. If I wanna, for example, have some effects going on this main loop right here. For example, say I want a verb here. I can do that. Just open reverb. This is the Crystalline for Baby Audio, one of my favorite go-to reverbs. And as I mix, I can put on all of these effects. Let's say I want a drum room, for example. I can pull up another reverb, and I can make a drum room verb type thing. Just to create some more space around the drums, for example. Everything is set up, it's rooted, it's right there. So from this drum loop, for example, I send it's already in the template into bus 10, which is in the effects folder right here. So here we have drum room, you see here. And from the drum room, it goes directly into the effects bus. You can see here, effects bus. It's over there. So you have both the drum room and the main loop reverb going in here. And from there, it goes into the mix bus. The drums goes into the drum bus, the bass goes into the bass bus, instruments goes into the instrument bus, and we have the effects, as you can see on the readout here. And of course, all things instrumental, it goes into the beat bus right here. If I had vocals on, it would go into the vocal bus or Vox bus, and everything is rooted into the mix bus and the master, and from the mix bus into the master. So that's where you see the activity right here. Now the big change here is when you mix, everything follows a certain hierarchy. So it starts on the top, sort of like if you can imagine a triangle, sort of like from the feudal society where you have the king on the top, and then you had the farmers and the peasants and all the poor people on the bottom. Like the individual tracks are all the poor people and all the business owners. And then on the top you have the church and the king, right? from the old days. You could just start inserting plugins on the mix bus, for example. Or if you're mixing beats, my strong recommendation would be to start with the stems. So the main tracks, the drums, the bass, and the instruments. Those are the mainly the 3 stems that you would like include in a track out, and also the effects. So that will be 4. And if you're generous, you can, for example, track out the entire session. And if you're selling a beat or if you're collaborating, that would make sense if someone else is mixing. So then you would leave the mix bus alone, because you want at whatever level you want someone else to mix your beats. You want to do the processing that you like on that level. You can get the 6 free mixing templates for Logic Pro if you go to the description, or just go into subphotic.com/Logic. You can get it. If you're on any other DAW than Logic,